When we were children, young toddlers, primary school kids with aspirations that were so very extraordinary, we dreamed of being astronauts, inventors, revolutionary pioneers who explored ideas with nothing to hold them back. As we grew up, our dreams for the future became more essentially realistic and doable. This is partly because we've become more aware of the difficulties that have yet to be overcome and choose to pursue careers that lead more comfortable, promising lives. Now, I do not in any way speak ill of this decision. It is practical, and many, if not the vast majority of us, conform to this decision. However, we should not completely quell that spark of ambition that we had as young children. It is not entirely impossible and can potentially yield amazing results. Imagine being the first to land on an undiscovered alien planet. Imagine being part of the researchers to allow for human civilization and survival on said planet. Imagine developing a strategy to allow for completely sustainable consumption of energy with no limitations. Do you see the potential and perhaps even the responsibility that we hold in refining the world that we live in? Let us step outside the threshold of certainty and take risks to reach beyond the attainable. Isn't being a risk taker one part of the IB learner profile anyways? Science is an effective medium through which the theme of reaching beyond the attainable can be explored. First, let's delve into physics. There is a theory that we potentially live in a multiverse, where there exist many different parallel universes, but outside our reach, theoretically. This is due to the idea that there are potentially more dimensions than we can perceive. Brian Greene, a physicist from Columbia University, described this idea, stating that our universe is potentially one of numerous slabs floating in a higher dimensional space. Plato's allegory of the cave reinforces this idea. Imagine that there are prisoners in a cave, and they have their necks chained so that they're forced to stare at a wall. They cannot look around, at each other, or at themselves. There is a fire behind these prisoners, which casts a shadow on objects that look like animals onto these walls. Now, more transpires after this point, but let's stop here. Socrates, an Athenian philosopher, stated that from the perspective of the prisoners, the shadows are their reality, as that is all they have been able to see from the start of their lives. They are not aware of the 3D world around them. Now consider our position. Of course, we're not prisoners, and we're not forced to stare at a wall, but what if there were more dimensions that we could not perceive? This relates to the idea of parallel universes existing in dimensions that we could not yet detect. Now you may be wondering, what do these have to do with reaching beyond the attainable? Well, it is hypothesized that an infinite number of possibilities exist inside these parallel universes, and it is indubitable that we have yet to achieve much more. Thus, anything is possible if we figuratively put our heart into it. Before we fall down the rabbit hole of molecular physics, astrophysics, and quantum theory, let's move on to biotechnology. We used to think that many of the accomplishments and inventions that we created today were impossible as a prospect. We thought that they were beyond our reach and too advanced for us. However, we have achieved many of these inventions and accomplishments as of today, and it is indubitable that we have yet to accomplish much more, reinforcing the idea that anything is possible. We can now genetically engineer products to treat ailments. For instance, in the past, insulin was extracted from the pancreas of cattle to treat humans with diabetes. Well, today, synthetic insulin, which was previously thought to be impossible to create, has been made possible through years of perseverance. In addition, we can now take stem cells from a healthy person to treat those who are ill. Isn't this simply astonishing? If we keep pursuing such ideas, can you imagine the products available in the future? Perhaps we could allow for an ointment that can heal cuts in an instant to exist. Perhaps we could find a universal cure to all diseases. Perhaps we could put a stop to bacterial resistance to antibiotics. Such ideas reinforce the idea that anything is possible, and that we should strive to achieve the most that we can. In addition to biotech, there has been a major scientific breakthrough in the world of chemistry. Researchers, organizations, and universities are striving and scrambling to be the first to achieve and create metallic stable hydrogen to allow for major technological advancements, namely in the field of electronics. Hydrogen is a gaseous element under standard conditions, but finding a way to change and maintain its solid form converts it into its metallic form, where it could allow for superconductors, supercomputers, ultra-efficient modes of transportation, and much more. Scientists in Harvard University have recently been able to create this product. However, the quantity is very small, and scientists must also now find a way to maintain the stability of the substance under different temperatures and pressures, as it does not have such capabilities as of now. We used to think that metallic hydrogen was not possible to create. However, through years of perseverance, such products have been made possible. If we keep pursuing such ideas, such impossible tasks can be made possible in the future. Integrating all these ideas together, we should strive to achieve more than what we think is possible, as it can potentially yield revolutionary discoveries. The physics example given above conveys that there are an infinite amount of possibilities. Anything is virtually possible. Who knows what our timeline holds? This does not strictly apply to those who are interested in the sciences. If you want to be an entrepreneur, don't be afraid to take calculated risks. If you're interested in technology, there are a myriad of technological products today that can reinforce this idea. Furthermore, if you want more living proof, just go consult Elon Musk and his many accomplishments. The central question of this TEDx talk is, what if? What if we can reach beyond the attainable? We can achieve much more. Perhaps in the future, we could allow for time travel to be possible. Remember all those times we thought the future was full of flying cars? Who says that is entirely impossible? The central idea is that we should strive to achieve more than what we think is possible, as it is not entirely impossible and can potentially yield amazing results. And the scientific illusions in this talk reinforce this. Your own vision starts with you, and the possibilities are endless. Thank you.